Okay, welcome back to Al Talks. This is episode number 7. I have my first guest on, a dear friend who I've known for many, many years. Love him like part of my family, Gary McMiniman. Welcome to the show, brother. It's great to have you on here.
Good to be here, man.
One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on to the show is you're a musician, and I just wanted to ask you. I have a couple of things written down here for this episode in my notes about how you first got into music and where it all came about.
Um, I first kind of got into music when I was a kid. Must have been about maybe 6 or 7. Uh, my dad would have played guitar from like when I was a baby, but around about 6 or 7, my older brother got his first guitar. I think he was maybe 11 or 12. But when he got his first guitar, I kind of just he started playing metal, and that. My dad also played with a traditional Irish band, so from maybe the age of about 13 or 14. When they were going doing their gigs and stuff, I used to go and act like a little roadie and a little
Yeah.
and work their PA systems and stuff for them.
Okay. Um. Uh. What was I going to say? Yeah. When you got into bands later on and you were performing, and that initial, like the first time you performed, that was, in the first episode I talked about the first ever set I did for stand up, and how Porrick Williams was the MC for the night. He introduced me, and I went up on stage, and I went up to the microphone stand, I grabbed the microphone, I held it in my hands. It was about 30 seconds, and I said nothing, and I looked down. This crowd was looking at me, about 20 odd people or so. And I remember thinking in the back of my head, if I don't start talking within the next 30 seconds, I'm not gonna. So I just went straight into my first joke, and then the rest is history. But did your first ever performance, do you remember what that was like?
Fucking terrifying to say the least.
Yeah.
It was a talent show when we were in school. We did the cover of "Sitting, Waiting, Wishing" by Jack Johnson. And as much as I'd love to say we did a good cover, we fucking butchered it. But yeah, it was fucking terrifying. Like maybe just as a teenager, like standing up in front of your entire school and putting playing like it. I think even like playing in front of strangers would have been a different thing, but like to play in front of all the people that you were like all the people in your year and stuff like that, kind of added that little bit of extra pressure, I think.
Yeah. Um, I actually forgot to mention this, but the very first time I did stand up, I actually did have friends in the crowd. There was one person that I knew, and Karen. She brought her boyfriend and another one of her friends. He's actually uh, a local dude who lives here in Athlone. I don't know why I forgot about that, but I mean, the rest of the people there obviously were strangers. There's 20 odd people, and there's only the three of them. I couldn't imagine performing in front of my school. I did plays, in primary school, and but never, in a play you can hide behind other people. Whereas when you're performing in a band, you have, the focus is on you, and it's very, very strange. To be honest, I don't know if I would have been able to do stand up in school. To be honest.
Yeah, especially like as a teenager, the prospect of like playing in front of your fellow students and stuff like that. Like even just on the off chance that you fuck something up or that, like you'd never be able to live that down while you're still in the school. Like
Yeah.
it can be fucking quite scary in that regard.
Yeah. And something else, I think it was after maybe about two open mics that I did. I asked somebody, because obviously there's a chair on stage, and I remember, I think maybe the second set I did in Dublin, I sat down in the chair for maybe about 2 minutes, then I got up because it felt really weird. But the chair is there obviously for people who want to sit down or as an actual prop. But when you perform with the band, you never used any props, no?
No, not.
Yeah, I remember when I went to see Carragagran, their black metal band, I think the black metal. They had this like caricature of it was like a ghost with a top hat or something on a pole in the middle of the stage. And I remember somebody who was in the crowd was like, "What the fuck is that? What?" It was like, and then afterwards, I was talking to a few people after the gig, and they were like, "Who do they think they are putting that up there?" I was like, it didn't take away from the show. It just kind of looked weird. It was, I don't know. It was like kind of an oddity. It would be the same as if next time I had to do stand up, they had like red tinsel around the mic stand. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Or like, that pink fluffy thing women use in cabaret. It's like flamingo feathers or something that goes around their neck. So, the likes of something like that if it was wrapped around. So I think the only thing that should be up there should just be the chair and the microphone. But maybe I'm wrong. But that's just my personal opinion.
No, but like there was a few bands, that pulled off having props on stage and stuff like that. There was a couple of bands that kind of pulled it off, like Rammstein,
Yeah.
where
they take it to a completely different level.
they do indeed, man. There's an air of theatrics about it,
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what Carragagran was going for at that time. Another thing I want to ask you, you mentioned you played